Starry-eyed rumblings.
They are about halfway across the access tunnel when Axe stops mid-air and points upwards into the tunnel itself, as two voices can be heard from the tunnel above. Helix Bane gestures to Axe to move them to a position where they can see the source of the voices. Complying tentatively, Axe does so, and Helix Bane sees two gentlemen. Of the two, the plain-looking man with brown hair is more of a surprise than the other, who has a head 3 times the size of a normal human, and a gaping mouth to match that stretches from one side to the other. Alas, that's all the detail Helix Bane gets to see before Axe ducks back beneath the tunnel and the two of them listen in. The domain of the Worthy Foundation sounds like a bunch of self-righteous elitists.
Likely.
Blackmail is never an approach that fosters trust and loyalty. I don't think we should place too much in this domain, but we'll have to play by their rules for now. To pick up even these few crumbs of information, Axe and Helix Bane have had to follow the two gentlemen all the way back to the ship side exit of the tunnel, as they are treated to a little bit of luck, as the plain gentleman says. Meet at Office 365 tonight, and we'll discuss further. As the two men start going their separate ways, Helix Bane takes a moment to consider quickly. Continue to the spire, interrogate one of the men, or check out the office. As she has a pretty good idea of the layout of the ship, she opts to investigate the office first. If the incoming ship was part of this Worthy Foundation domain, Helix Bane wanted to take this opportunity to see if she could find out any information on them before heading into a ghastly, ancient-looking spire of unknown origin. Navigating to the closest airlock to the office, Helix Bane re-enters the ship while Axe waits for her return. She begins to make her way to the office. Unsurprisingly, she meets no one on the way. However, what is surprising is the door to the office isn't locked. Helix Bane doesn't ponder the two gentlemen's complacency, but listens for sounds of movement inside before stepping in. A tidy office with 2 chairs and 1 desk. No other furnishings, no windows, but on the table, plain to see, is a list of names. Helix Bane is aware that there are only about a dozen left alive on the fairly sizable research ship, but even then, this seems careless of the two gentlemen, which suits her fine. Likely there will be easy pickings if it comes to it. The names read Prime, Yashi, Valia, and Ace. Judging by the notes, this seems to be some sort of recruitment effort to ally with the other inhabitants. How successful they have been is yet unclear. Helix Bane remembers hunting, capturing, and bringing each of the 4 names to the research facility, as well as the 2 gentlemen. But with a ship incoming, a grisly spire to investigate, that leaves little time to search for any of these old acquaintances. Slightly disappointed there wasn't something more substantial in the office, Helix Bane returns to a worried and agitated looking Axe, who has the look of a mother who has been imagining the worst possible outcome. A look that only relaxes slightly as Helix Bane returns. To speed things along, Helix Bane preempts Axe's questions.
I'm fine.
Not much in the office. No one saw me. Are you ready to go? Axe doesn't respond, but offers a hand, and the two begin the journey back towards the spire. As the skull shape in the spire looms larger and larger, even Helix Bane tries not to look too closely. The smell of the worst sick ward of a field hospital fills the air, and the one time Helix Bane examined the spire more closely as they got closer, the examination rewarded her with a glimpse of arms, hands, legs, feet, torsos, and an assortment of other limbs, being the building blocks of the ghastly spire. As the two of them reach their destination, the distraction of a woman already standing on the platform is a welcome one. By the looks of the white hair, it is Bay. Helix Bane turns to Axe and says, "Best if you drop me and remain unnoticed." Axe may not remember Helix Bane was the one who brought her here, but Bay most certainly does. There is every chance a reunion might end up with one of them absent a throat. Axe complies, whilst pointing out Bay's helmet is off. Helix Bane had noticed that, but wasn't going to risk taking off her own helmet. Helix Bane was aware that Bay had been modified to be able to retain any information she took in with any of the 5 senses, and even replicate movements with pinpoint precision. But who was to say that Bay had not received further modification in the last decade that Helix Bane was not aware of? Axe drops Helix Bane on the platform behind Bay, and Helix Bane decides to move up beside Bay quietly, a subtle way of showing if Helix Bane did want to tear out Bay's throat, she could have done so without her even knowing. Hopefully an unspoken, "I'm not here to kill you." At the time of arrest, Bay was a 68-year-old lady that, except for a wrinkle or two, would have passed comfortably as a lady in her late 40s. That was a decade ago. Presently, she seems to have only added 1 or 2 more wrinkles to an otherwise smooth and youthful face. The pure white hair, brown eyes set in a light brown face would give her the appearance of a kind, wise lady. But Bay gives the vibe of a swaggering teenager more than the wise old lady. "I'm heading into the spire. If you're doing the same, I'm not standing in line." A not so subtle way of saying, "out of my way," as Helix Bane walks straight past Bay and heads towards the entrance to the spire. Helix Bane has another idea. "Care to join?" Helix Bane doesn't, however, wait for an answer or break stride, and heads directly to the presumed entrance to the spire, a gaping maw at the bottom. She makes it a point to only focus on the gloomy opening at the bottom of the spire, and not at the platform and what it is made out of. Feet. The soles of feet facing upwards. She focuses on that, and the sounds Bay is making behind as she follows. Helix Bane is expecting some sort of limb-themed decor inside, and she isn't disappointed. The inside of the spire seems to be hollow, the interior walls made of the backs of the limbs seen from outside. The ceiling, or the point of the spire, is lost to darkness. The centerpiece, 4 pairs of hands protruding from the center of the room, reaching up and out as if trying to clasp another pair of hands, likely Helix Bane's hands, if she wishes to explore the mysteries of the spire. As hard and unfeeling as Helix Bane is, the stale septic smell and soft floor and abundance of unattached limbs is something she is trying very, very hard not to focus on. And it's not working. Helix Bane can smell the stench through her helmet. The interior is massive and spacious, but it feels like there is no space at all. The opening seems smaller and further away than it should be. Helix Bane continues to try and ignore it, brushes off the feeling, and reaches out ready to clasp the protruding hands with bulbous, bloated fingers, and waits to see if Bay does the same. Bay does. Helix Bane makes a grab for the hands, but not the bulbous ones protruding from the floor of the spire, but for Bay's hands, hovering just over the other pair of bulbous fingered hands. Alas, Bay moves with sure, confident movements, not too fast, not too slow, and clasps hold of Helix Bane's wrist. I saw that one coming in your muscle movements. Helix Bane pays no attention to the words as she begins to shift. Snap! Times 2 as Bay snaps both of Helix Bane's wrists, and before Helix Bane can finish her gasp, Bay has done to Helix Bane what Helix Bane had been hoping to do to Bay. Better you scout out ahead. I may join you. Bay announces this as she maneuvers Helix Bane's hands to intertwine with the bulbous fingers, which tighten into a death grip.